I'm Jordan Belfort, and this is Sales School. I want the 75-inch to be, not the 50. I want that ribeye, not the sirloin. I'm going first class in business and never coach. Simply, there are certain times when paying a little bit more is worth it. Just like there's a huge difference between that stretched out sadness in your drawers and Tommy John underwear. When you're wearing Tommy John underwear, you're that much more comfortable. So you can do everything, and I mean everything, better. Listen, I wear Tommy Johns, and you should too. Returns and exchanges are free, and right now you get 15% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/school. That's 15% off Tommy John underwear and loungewear at TommyJohn.com/school. One more time, TommyJohn.com/school. See their site for details.
I broke all the records in the door-to-door industry. I've sold mortgages door-to-door. I've sold meat and seafood door-to-door, stereo systems. You name it, I've sold everything, right? And the irony is that there are no magic words when it comes to those first few seconds, whether it's in person or over the phone, right? I've always told you that those first few seconds, it's about being perceived sharp, enthusiastic, expert in your field, right? So when I gave them my pitch, I used the mortgage industry as an example, right? So let me just tell you, it's a great story. So when it was in 2001, rates had just dropped, right? So everybody and their grandmother was refinancing their home, and it was right before everyone and their grandmother tried to become a mortgage broker, right? So I had this idea. I'm gonna go out there and just simply go business to business to business to business. Every owner is there, he owns a home. I go to small businesses, right? And I'll just walk in and say, hey, what rate you paying, right? And I'll refinance the house, right? So at the time, a good friend of mine back then owned a small mom and pop mortgage company. And he had asked me to write him a telemarketing script. So I did that as a favor, and I tested the script myself, and the first call I made, I closed $8,000 property. I'm like, damn, this is something here, right? I said, I'm gonna actually try to grow this. So that's why I got into the mortgage business, right? Then I came with a door-to-door idea because no one was doing it, right? So I said to my partner's wife, hey, Shelly, I said, why don't you come with me? And I'll take you and I'll show you how to do it. It's very simple. You walk down one side of the street, I'll walk down the other, right? You put a little clipboard in your hand and just walk in and say, hey, you're a mortgage broker, what rate you paying, right? Ask for the owner and so forth. She's like, oh, great, I'd love to sell, right? So we drove the car, we're in Long Island at the time, right? We drove to, it was New Rochelle. So it was one of these broad streets, two-way traffic, right? Stores lined up, mom and pop shops down this way, mom and pop shops down that way, right? So I said, Shelly, you take the right side of the street, I'll take the left side of the street, right? So I get in out of my car, walk into the first place, it's a restaurant, owner's not there, no one spoke English, no good, right? Next place I go, it was called DeRosa Seafood, Phil DeRosa, still remember his name. Walk in, second door, bam, made $8,000. I'm like, oh my mother. I'm like, I am onto something here, right? I'm like, 2 doors later, bam, another sale, $6,000. 3 doors later, bam, another sale, $12,000. I had made $20,000 in 2 hours, all right? And I was like, the whole time, I'm saying to myself, oh man, Shelly must be smashing it. I can't wait we're gonna be like two people just jumping for joy. And just so you know, guys, this happened right after I got indicted. I was broke. So I just kind of cracked the code, right? And I'm gonna do this all over again, right? So I crossed the street like, victorious warrior, $20,000 richer. I'm looking for Shelly, can't find her, and all of a sudden I see a little bench. I see this figure hunched over, she's crying hysterically on the bench. I'm like, Shelly, what happened? She's like, it's impossible. No, nobody wants to do this. You can't. I'm like, Shelly, I just made $20,000. She's like, what? I'm like, Shelly. I'm like, what? I'm like, she's like, I don't understand. I'm like, follow me. I grabbed her, all right? I said, just stand up straight and just walk behind me. I went down the same row of stores that she had I said, did you hit every store? She goes, I hit every single store. Walked down the same row of stores, okay, and closed 3 people. The second door I hit was a jeweler, $5,000. The last one was an auto body, a big one, $15,000. I think it was the Benedetto Auto, Phil Benedetto, I think was his name, right? So I'm not making this, was a true story, right? And that day made 40, 50 grand that first day doing it, all right? And Shelly was like, I don't understand. I went down what she was doing. She was walking in like, hi, my name's Shelly. I'm from like mom and pop, no name mortgage company. And I would love to be your, I'm like, hey, my name's Jordan Mortgage. All I did, I'm like, hey, who's the owner? Is the owner here? That was it. Yeah, I'm there. Hey, my name's Jordan, a mortgage broker in the area. What rate are you currently paying in your house? That's how fast, like just busy. These people are busy. They're working. Hey, my name's Jordan, I'm a mortgage broker. What rate are you currently paying? There's 8.5. I'm like, oh, I could save you a ton of money. I took that, and that was I could save you a ton of money. I took out my notebook. Okay, so what area you live in? And I start asking, I do my straight line, non-invasive questions, and I take my calculator, boom, before I know. Guys, what was the difference between Shelly and I? I'll tell you what it was. I walked in with confident body language, looked the person right in the eyes, and hey, is the owner around? Like, not, excuse me, may I please speak to the business owner here? I'm like, hey, who's the owner? I'm the owner. Already, I'm part. Hey, my name's Jordan, I'm a mortgage broker in the area. What rate you currently paying on your mortgage? That's it. No magic words. And this is what I had explained to the door-to-door placement. Guys, it's not about like what you say. It's how you look. It's how you make eye contact. It's the authority you bring, how you dress. Also, she was dressed like sort of like she's a pretty girl, but she was not dressed like with authority. I walked in, I had a sport jacket on, all right? I had a nice little shirt, right? I had my clip. People see you. They size you up in a split second. On the phone, you got 4 seconds. But if you think that, like, this is not really, I'm sort of exaggerating, I am not, guys. It all happens in those first few seconds. Now, you don't get to close the sale because of those first few seconds, but you stop yourself from blowing the sale, or you open up the possibility to influence. She walked in, and people, I'm not interested. It's not expert. You get it? I walk in, they look at me, there's this energy. It's an energy flow. I want you to focus on this. Whether you're in person or on the phone today and all week long, remember, you exude an energy force. It comes out of you in the form of your body language and your tonality. How you make eye contact, how you shake hands, the first few words you say, reason for the call, there's an urgency in your tone. Don't ever forget that, because you know what happens, even myself, by the way, if I'm doing something long enough, it becomes so systematic and pattern-like that you forget that it's the color, it's the vivaciousness that actually brings it to life. You can't allow this to get ordered down 1 or 2 magnitudes with enthusiasm and poignancy just because you do it all the time. Every pitch is your first pitch this week. Trust me, make every pitch your first one. Go in there, hey, my name's bright smile. Hey, hi, is the owner around? Not like, excuse me, can I please speak? That's not what they want. They want someone who's authority, an expert, sharp, on the ball, is gonna solve their problems, help them achieve their goals, and someone who's also polite, non-threatening, and is just like them. All the things about the straight line, they all wrap up into one, but it happens, it starts in those first couple of seconds. Now, if you blow the first 3 or 4 seconds, yeah, you got 10 more seconds of cat jump ball. If you're really, after that, guys, you're done. You can't influence anyone. All right? So this is the week where we're really gonna focus on just being right at those first few seconds, sharp on the ball, face-to-face sales, that first quarter of a second, that first impression is everything. I want you to put yourself, look at it this way. This is the week where you're gonna put yourself in the perfect pole position to close every sale starting from 5 seconds forward. Make sure those first 5 seconds open you up for the possibility. Focus on that, and the rest will get much easier.